Hey everyone, welcome back! In today's video, we're diving into a topic that directly affects your bank account, but it's something nobody ever really explains to you clearly. We're talking about the corporate psychology that makes you overspend every single day, often without you even realizing it. We'll look at how stores and apps are engineered to target your brain, how a tiny hit of dopamine keeps pulling you back for more, and how something called the Diderot effect can trap you in an endless spending spiral. But we're not just going to sit here and complain about the problem. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 practical rules you can start using today to take your spending back under your own control. If you want more videos like this, the kind that actually make you see things differently, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. All right, let's get into it and find out what's really happening when you go out to buy just one thing. Take a second and think about this. That last thing you bought that you didn't actually need. Why did you buy it? You probably think it was your choice, that you decided, that you were in control. But here's something a little unsettling. That choice wasn't really a choice at all. It was a calculated strike. One that corporate psychologists planned months in advance, not just for you, but for millions of people just like you. This isn't just about willpower. There's an entire invisible architecture behind it, from the lighting to the sound, from the layout of an app to the design of a payment button, all built with one goal: to switch off your logical brain and switch on your impulse. Today, we're going to take this entire system apart, piece by piece. And by the end, I'll hand you the exact tools you need to break free from it, for good. Let's get started. First, let's understand how this trap works physically. Back in the 1970s, an architect named Victor Gruen designed shopping malls in a very specific way, so that the moment you stepped inside, you'd lose track of your original plan. Winding corridors, hidden exits, and an environment built to keep you inside long enough that you forget the simple thought, I just came here to buy one thing. In marketing, this is still called the Gruen effect today, and it hasn't stayed confined to malls. It's alive and well online. Endless scrolling, row after row of recommended for you. One more offer right before checkout. That's the same Gruen effect, just wearing a digital disguise. Now let's go a bit deeper. In modern retail environments, physical or digital, lighting, temperature, and layout are often tuned to subtly disturb your stress levels. Just slightly. Not enough for you to notice consciously, but enough that your brain starts quietly searching for comfort. And in that search for comfort, you unconsciously reach for something. Here's the key part. When your environment makes you a little uncomfortable or a little overstimulated, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and long-term planning, starts to slow down. And taking its place is the limbic system, which craves emotion and instant gratification. So when you think, I made that decision myself, the truth is, your rational brain had already taken a step back before you even realized it. This isn't an accident, it's design. Now, let's leave the physical store behind and step into a place where this game becomes even more precise: your screen. Every time you scroll, like, or linger on a product page for more than 3 seconds, you're leaving behind a data point. And these data points together form a pattern. Your pattern. Companies have predictive models that can identify exactly when you're in a vulnerable moment. Tired, bored, scrolling late at night. These are all signals that increase your chances of making an impulse purchase, and the algorithm knows it. Now let's talk about payments. Have you ever noticed how handing over cash feels so much harder than tapping your phone once? This is the game of friction. When you pull out cash, you physically watch your wealth disappear. That's real, measurable pain. Economists actually call it the pain of paying. But when payment becomes an invisible tap, that emotional pain vanishes. And when there's no pain, your brain stops treating the purchase as a cost and starts treating it as a reward, Then there's dynamic pricing and fake urgency. Only 2 left. Offer ends in 10 minutes. 3 people are viewing this right now. These are artificially manufactured scarcity signals designed to make your brain rush a decision out of fear of missing out before you get the chance to actually think. Together, these 3 things, predictive timing, frictionless payment, and artificial urgency, create the perfect trap. One that bypasses your logic completely and goes straight for your impulse. Now let's go even deeper, into your own body. Retail spaces use signature scents, a specific fragrance that becomes tied to a single brand. This scent isn't random. It's carefully chosen to trigger a feeling of comfort or excitement, and that feeling gets linked to the brand deep in your subconscious. Music works the same way. Slower music keeps you in a store longer, and the longer you stay, the more likely you are to buy something. Faster music moves you along quickly when a store is crowded. None of this is random. It's calculated, designed to unconsciously control your walking pace. And what does all of this add up to? Dopamine. That chemical that gives you the feeling of wanting something, even before you've bought it. By the time you reach checkout, your brain has already anticipated the reward. The purchase itself just completes that anticipation. Here's the important part, that dopamine hit is temporary. It only lasts for that moment. But the cost? That's permanent. And that's exactly the cycle that keeps bringing you back because your brain keeps chasing that same high. Now let's get to the deepest layer of all, your identity. Companies don't just sell products, they sell a lifestyle. They tell you that if you want to look successful, stylish, or put together, you need their products. This turns spending from a want into what feels like a social necessity. There's a fascinating psychological phenomenon here called the Diderot effect. Back in the 18th century, a French philosopher named Denis Diderot received a beautiful new robe as a gift. But once he saw that robe, all of his old furniture suddenly looked shabby and outdated by comparison. One new purchase made his entire collection of possessions feel unsatisfying. Eventually, he ended up refurnishing his whole house, all because of one robe. That same cycle is still playing out today. You buy a new phone, and suddenly, your laptop feels old. You buy new clothes, and suddenly, your old shoes don't match anymore. Every purchase demands the next one. It's an endless spiral that never really ends, because satisfaction, by design, is only ever temporary. And in the middle of all this, here's the truth. The high from a transaction lasts only a few minutes, but its financial impact, no savings, no investments, a retirement pushed further away, quietly builds up in the background. You're on a treadmill that feels like progress, but really, you're standing in the exact same spot, just more tired and with less money. Now we get to the part you've been waiting for, how to actually break free from this system. Rule number 1, the 48-hour decompression rule. Whenever you feel the urge to buy something that wasn't on your planned list, give yourself 48 hours. That's it. That urge that feels so strong right now is a temporary dopamine surge, and it naturally fades within 48 hours. If you still want that same thing after 48 hours with a clear mind, then maybe it genuinely is something you need. But in most cases, you'll simply forget about it. Rule number 2, audit your digital environment. Turn off predictive notifications. Any app that sends you flash sale or order now reminders, go turn off those permissions. And wherever possible, use friction-heavy payment methods, meaning instead of one-click checkout, manually enter your card details or use cash. The more friction there is, the more your logical brain gets involved in the purchase decision. Rule number 3, change your metric. Stop measuring things in price. Start measuring them in hours of your life. If you earn a certain amount per hour and something costs you 10 times that, it's costing you 10 hours of your life. This mindset shift sounds small, but it turns you from a reactive consumer into an objective manager of your own capital. Together, these 3 rules hand you back the control that corporate design took from you in the first place. Look, this video isn't about telling you to stop shopping altogether or to feel guilty every time you make a purchase. It's about making sure your decisions are informed, not engineered. Your bank account, your time, your life, these should be under your control, not under the control of some retail algorithm. If this video was useful to you, drop a comment below saying, "I'm breaking out of this trap." And let me know which rule you're going to try first. And if you want us to take this series further, like how banks use this exact same psychology to get people to take out loans, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. See you in the next one.